Psalm 73 opens Book 3 of the Psalter. This is not David crying out from a cave with enemies at the door. This was written by Asaph, a worship leader in Israel. Book 3 opens with a man who almost concluded that righteousness is not worth the cost. Truly, God is good to Israel, even to such as are of a clean heart. Psalm 73, verse 1. Asaph does not begin with his crisis. He begins with his conclusion. This is a deliberate literary choice. The reader learns the answer before hearing the problem, which tells us something about how Asaph wants this psalm to be read. He is not writing from within doubt. He is writing from the other side of it, looking back. The word truly carries significance. Asaph is not offering a polite theological statement. He is driving a stake into the ground. After everything that follows in this psalm, after the crisis he describes, after the near collapse of his faith, he plants this truth first. God is good to Israel. The goodness of God is not general here, but is specific. God is good to Israel, the covenant people, and within that, he is good to those with a clean heart. This is not a condition of perfection, but of integrity. A heart that does not divide its loyalty, a heart that fears God and walks with integrity. Asaph is establishing the standard against which his coming complaint will be measured. But as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had well nigh slipped. Psalm 73, verse 2. Now, the honest confession arrives. Asaph uses past tense throughout this psalm, confirming he writes from the other side of the crisis. His feet were almost gone. His steps had well nigh slipped. He came to the edge of spiritual collapse and almost went over. The imagery is physical. A man walking a narrow path, losing his footing, grabbing for something to hold. Asaph describes his faith crisis not as intellectual doubt, but as a stumble. He experienced a loss of stability that almost took him down. The phrase, "as for me," separates Asaph from the declaration in verse 1. God is good to Israel. But as for me, my experience did not feel like that. This tension between theological conviction and lived experience is the engine driving the entire psalm. Asaph holds both without resolving them, which is itself a mark of honest faith. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. Psalm 73, verse 3. Here is the source of the stumble. Not persecution, nor suffering, nor enemies surrounding him. Asaph looks at the foolish. This refers to those who boast against God, who live as though God is irrelevant, and he sees them prospering. Their lives appear full, comfortable, and successful. Meanwhile, Asaph keeps his hands clean and his heart right, and it costs him. The contrast produces envy, and the envy produces the near fall described in verse 2. The word foolish is critical. These are not just unbelievers. These are people who dismiss God and live in open defiance. Yet their tables are full. Their children are healthy. Their businesses thrive. Asaph watches this, and his footing gives way. This is not a minor temptation. It strikes at the foundation of covenantal thinking. The belief that righteousness brings blessing and wickedness brings ruin. When the visible evidence contradicts that conviction, faith staggers. Asaph names the sin. Not confusion, grief, or theological inquiry, just envy. He wanted what they had.